in the first minute of added time. Apart from that, City pretty much kept Chelsea at bay. And so for the first time since September, Chelsea have lost a game in the WSL. They'll turn and look at the league table almost in disbelief, because now Chelsea are in third. City's victory takes them level on points at the top with Manchester United, but with a just inferior goal difference. Chelsea back in third with 37, Arsenal fourth with 35. It's going to be one heck of a run-in, and City are very much in the thick of it. The final score couldn't have gone better. City 2, Chelsea 0. Well, let's go back to the studio where Mike is with Steve and Shaun.
Ali, thank you very much. I don't think you'd know it at the full-time whistle, but I'm sure Gareth Taylor is a very happy man. Didn't smile at first, he did at the end. Size of victory. What a victory that was.
Massive, massive importance to the run of games they've got coming up, and to them showing a statement of that we're here for this title challenge and we're going to see it all the way through. And I think that's a perfect way to bounce back off, obviously, the FA Cup defeat, and to go clean sheet as well against the league leaders shows your mindset even more.
It's such a good performance, as Shaun says, from start to finish. OK, maybe Chelsea had the first 30 seconds. but after that, Manchester City ran the show. It was a really polished, professional performance, that, from start to finish.
They can have 30 seconds, that's absolutely fine. They can have 89 minutes of 30 after that. City were just marvellous, genuinely a perfect performance. We were surprised watching it towards how little Chelsea... I mean, they had the chance at the end there where they blazed it over, but other than that, City were in total and utter control. That was it was a powerful performance. You know, it was a performance that definitely will leave a statement in the WSL. That is a Manchester City side right now on a remarkable run of form. Now, you know, joint top, if that's a phrase. I know people hate that in football, but, you know, it's only goal difference that separates us and the other side of Manchester we don't talk about. But, yeah, that performance, excellent. No one had a bad game. Control, composed, organised, just looked really, really impressive.
Your thoughts and feelings on the game, on the WSL title race? WhatsAppers will put your points to Shaun and Stephen in the remaining part of the programme. The title race is wide open now.
For a fan, like Steve said before, it's going to be an emotional roller coaster, which most City fans will be used to anyway, apart from like of recent years. But for me in general, the midfield battle was key today, and I think with the two midfielders we had in there plus Coombs, I think that they pretty much run the show. Hasegawa, I don't even know how to explain her football intelligence and the way she plays and the way she creates spaces for others on and off the ball, for me is just frightening. And today I thought she was my my lady of the match. Sorry.
Yeah, I would agree. Absolutely remarkable. Some of those turns in tight spaces. On a pitch full of quality players, to me, she stood out as the most impressive, and probably the smallest player looked like the biggest on the pitch, you know, like, because the space that she had on the ball when she was surrounded by so many people was just a remarkably calm head, but just so much technical brilliance, and like gliding past people before, and the choice of pass, the weight of pass as well. And as Shaun was saying earlier, she puts her foot in as well. She was absolutely fantastic. But then, you know, Angeldahl alongside her was essentially the most important moment of the game, you know, and she was everywhere as well. So the midfield was just excellent.
Let's start with Angeldahl's goal, because that got us going. That got Manchester City going in the first half. Such a sublime strike. And we talked about it at half-time. You were the first to know that was going in.
To be honest, I don't even know what made me jump up. It was just, I just thought she was going to shoot anyway from the position that she was in. So as soon as it left her foot at the height it did, I just jumped up anyway. And
he was having flashbacks to the United goal years ago. That was it. I was about to see the Roebuck coming out.
Thank you, good night. Commentary, that one.
and like Steve said, it was the perfect time to score. I think they was getting back in control of the game, and it's always good to score when you're in control, and the possession and the pressure that you're given to get a goal at the end of it is always rewarding. And for me, it was brilliant, and that kind of just set the tone. And I thought that just hit Chelsea for 6 when that went in. I thought after then it was always an uphill battle, and we just needed that second one to come.
Some of your tweets coming through on screen as well. Keep them coming in. And your WhatsApps, we'll read them to Stephen and Shaun. And the second goal was ultimately the one that really sealed it for Manchester City, Stephen. And that was Lauren Hemp's instinct. We were right behind it from our angle to watch it fly past Ann-Katrin Berger.
There's not many better things in football than when you're right behind the flight of the ball, is there? And you can see it just angling because you know the keeper's nowhere near it, and that's the view we had. And it's one of those chances where she made it look easy, but it isn't. You know, it's a half chance, and a lot of people put the laces through that, and they launch over the bar. But she cut across it, found the corner. It's a beautiful finish, and in a game of this magnitude, you have to take those moments. We saw at the end, Chelsea, a very similar chance, sliced it over the bar, and ultimately City's had a little bit more quality, and her goal was proof of that.
I don't think in the second half there were too many major chances, but there was a key moment when we were watching, and it was Chelsea feeding a ball down the middle, and it clipped the heels behind of Sam Kerr. And I think at that moment you kind of knew it wasn't going to be Chelsea's day. They just couldn't find that final pass, the decisive pass.
Yeah, that's the way it seemed, and I think us three, obviously, off-air when we was talking, and I was saying to you, that is what Kerr missed, a Kirby in that midfield area, because she seems more precise in her pass, and it always seems to be in front of Kerr when she needs it to be. But I think the City defence today I thought they was tremendous. Anytime Sam did get a chance in behind, they just pushed her wide to the point where they took their most dangerous striker out of the most dangerous area and just said, you can cross it if you want, or you can pass it back, and that's the way they played the whole 90 minutes and 90 minutes plus. So I thought that defensively they were superb today.
Yeah, absolutely. And those little moments you do sense when a game's going your way, don't you? You know, like the ref letting Roebuck get away with a bit of time wasting. If we're being honest, we're like, okay, let her do that. You know, there's a couple of challenges where City were first to it, and that ball hitting Sam Kerr's heels. Those moments you start to think, oh, look, if we just keep our heads here a little bit. Things are favouring us right now, and but you do make your own look in football. It's not to say there is moments of luck, but largely, you can force it that way. And City today absolutely deserved it. Whether the ball hit Sam Kerr's heels or not, City were the better side, and that can't be stressed enough. And they'll know that as well. And the confidence they'll take from that today is just enormous.
One of the comments on screen now, fair play to City. They were absolutely bossing this game and they're breaking Chelsea apart. I mean, fair summary, that, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's just an honest football watcher there. He's watched the game through the same lens as pretty much everyone else. I think, apart from that direct ball, as we stressed in the first half, that Chelsea didn't really offer much in respects of putting a finger on Man City. So I think, like we've all said, that was a deserved result, and at times you thought we could get one more, but if you can keep a clean sheet, you don't have to worry about that. Just control the game and don't rush those to make those chances, and that's what I thought City did.
Can you take us inside both dressing rooms now at full time? I imagine City's got the party atmosphere and Chelsea's a bit of a look in the mirror, is it not?
Yeah, I think it will be a massive look in the mirror for them, not so much on the result, so much on how they played as a team. But they got picked themselves up. They got another massive game against Lyon coming up, so they haven't got time to focus on what just happened. They need to bounce back, otherwise their season can really fall apart right now.
And look how City bounced back as well, after the FA Cup exit. Like, a perfect response. Like, genuinely, you could have easily, been overawed by that or lost your head a little bit, but to go against the reigning champions, fighting on all fronts, the next game after such a big loss, and to turn up and do this today, that's so impressive.
Let's get some reaction, shall we, from that big win for Manchester City. Laura Coombs has been speaking to George Kelsey.
So, Laura, that feels like a really significant victory for the team and hopefully in a push for the WSL title. How does it feel for you?
We're just so happy as a group. We've worked so hard this week, and we really, after the disappointment of last week, we really wanted to put on a good performance and a win today. And yeah, it keeps us in the title race, and we're just over the moon to get the win.
This team really seems to step up in the big games. We did it against Arsenal here, we've done it today against Chelsea. How important is that team spirit and that mentality to hopefully see us over the line?
Yeah, we're such a good group, and everyone's so calm and composed, and when it comes to the big games now, we know what we have to do. We really just stick to our game plan, trust that we're going to go out and it's going to work for us. And, we've got some amazing talent at the top end of the pitch to rely on every week, and yeah, we're just over the moon.
And a quick word on Philippa Angeldahl. She obviously scored a fantastic first WSL goal. To score like that's amazing. How important is she to the team, and what's it like to play alongside her?
Ipa's just, she's a dream. She's just the epitome of calm, and I'm so happy for her. It was some strike, no backlift, top corner, like, yeah, wow.
And just finally, how important is it for us to now build on this result against Arsenal next week?
Yeah, it puts us in a great place. We go away to them. Obviously, it's going to be a similar top opposition, and we can take the confidence from today into next week and look for the win.
Thanks for your time, Laura. Well played.
Laura Coombs with George Kelsey there. And let's look ahead to that. It is a big game next week for Manchester City, the Arsenal game. Now, City are in a probably the WSL sides going for the title in the toughest run. Chelsea, they've still got United and Arsenal, as we know, next weekend. So, but the confidence they'll get from today gives them the belief, I guess, to go to Arsenal and win again.
Most definitely. They should have huge confidence. I think Steve said, like, reigning champions, you've beat them 2-0 comfortably.
Yeah.
If you can do that to them, if you play that way, you can pretty much do, you would expect you can do it to pretty much most of the teams. Of course, it won't be that easy, but I think with the confidence that they played that game in, all they need to do is take that there. And I feel they will get more chances against Arsenal than they did today. And it'll just be a matter of doing the same thing that they did today, take those little chances.
Yeah, absolutely. If you can't take confidence from a game like this, then and what's the point, really? But they'll feel top of the world right now. And the most pressing thing for Gareth Taylor was that the most impressive thing. There seems to be no problems at all. Like, everyone, man to man, did their job, and everyone knew exactly where they needed to be. And like that, for him, he doesn't have to make any changes. They can turn up at Arsenal and just play the same way. Trust their instincts, and hopefully get them 3 points.
Let's get some more reaction. George Kelsey's been speaking with Alex Greenwood.
Alex, that feels like a really significant victory and a really convincing performance as well. How pleased are you with that result against Chelsea?
Yeah, massive win, massive performance, great team performance. From the girls who started to the bench, took a whole squad effort. It's been a tough week after last week. We went back to training, worked really hard, and I could tell in the team this week going into this game we were hungry to win. We were determined, and everything we practiced this week we put into play here, and we were outstanding today.
How important is that mentality of bouncing back from a setback when they do happen, and how important could that be on the run into hopefully a title win?
Yeah, I mean, we haven't had to do that often this year, but when we have had to do it, we've done it really well. I think it's a mentality that we've got in us. We're a team that enjoy winning, but when we get setbacks, we regroup, and it's a testament to the team and the staff and how close we are here as a team, and that result just proves what we are.
And a quick word on the quality of the 2 goals in that first half. They were incredible.
I can't even remember them. Do you know what? I feel like it was so long ago, but obviously Ipa's just got it on the edge there and put it in. I've seen her do that in training loads of times, and Hempy does what Hempy does. She cuts in and puts one in, top in. So great day, what a day. And the fans were excellent as well today. Shout out to them.
Absolutely. And just finally, I mean, as a defender, keeping a clean sheet against Chelsea, second half they were putting the pressure on as well. So how pleasing is that for you and the rest of the defenders?
Yeah, buzzing. We pride ourselves on them, and we haven't had many clean sheets in the last couple of weeks, and it's frustrating. Even when we win games, the defenders come off a little bit disappointing. That's just our pride. And today I thought we were from 1 to 11 absolutely brilliant, and we earned the 3 points, the clean sheet, and great performance from the whole team. Thanks
for your time, Alex. Well played.
Alex Greenwood there. I guess from the defensive point of view, clean sheet, she's going to be buzzing with that as much as the 2 goals from the other end.
Yeah, it's important. I think when the defence is playing the way they did today, that gives the attacking players time. They don't panic. They don't rush to do things. They're not under pressure to make things happen. And there's like a foothold to move forward off of. And like I said, I thought all the 90 minutes they played really, really well. Even if there was mistakes, they all adjusted from it. And that hard work, like she said, that they've put in all this week on the tactical side of them bouncing back from the FA Cup, it showed in this game. You saw the hunger, you saw the desire, and there was a lot more of that from them than there was from Chelsea, and that's why they got the result. I
was watching Alex Greenwood at one point. The ball was at the other end of the field, but she was so vocal, leading from the back, almost a second captain, if you will, to Steph Houghton, and it was just great to see that commanding presence out there.
Well, you need it in games like this. The pair of them were absolutely excellent. There was one moment particularly with Steph Houghton as well towards the end where about 20 minutes left and Sam Kerr ran down the channel. You're thinking, like, she knows she's going to cut up on the right foot here. But with all the experience she had, she didn't dive in. She just stood her up, and it was just really composed, experienced defending, and they both were absolutely excellent. And you need that, you know. If you're going to beat Chelsea, your centre backs have to be absolutely on it.
Steph Houghton, right at the end, literally put her body on the line, put her head on the line.
Yeah, she did, and I thought like there was players like that doing it all over the pitch. Like Hemp's clever yellow card she got. She came back from far. She brought that, and then there was another incident inside the box where she came. It must have been from just inside the halfway line, takes the ball, runs up the line, and gets a foul. So the individual players all over the pitch was doing that extra 10 to 20%. And if you want to win this title, that's what it's going to take for the next few games coming.
Let's hear from the man in charge, Gareth Taylor, with George Kelsey.
So Gareth, you said before this game that this was a must-win encounter, and that's exactly what you got. How are you feeling after that result?
Yeah, really pleased, really satisfied with what the girls produced today. I thought we attacked the game really well from the start, put them under huge pressure. I think both of our goals, if I remember rightly, came from that, winning the ball back and then showing that bit of quality to finish off really well. Second half, we sustained obviously a little bit of ground, while Chelsea probably launched a lot of long balls, but I felt the way we dealt with that was pretty good. Probably only sustained one real chance to loopholes. I had the best chance ourselves with Bunny. So overall, really happy.
And how important was it when Phillips got that first goal for us to then build on it and get the second with Lauren soon after?
Yeah, but it gives confidence, you know. I mean, we had it here against Arsenal. We start the game tremendously well, and you want to be rewarded for that. And sometimes you don't get that, but we got it in the early goals, and I think that first goal gave us confidence to go and get the second one. And from then on, we spoke at half-time and said, you know, 3-0 kills the game. 2-0 is still a difficult scoreline to manage, but I thought we managed it really well in the second half.
You mentioned that Arsenal game. This is another example of the team really stepping up to the plate in these big occasions. Must be really pleasing as a manager knowing that you've got the players with that mentality ready to keep pushing.
Yeah, for sure, because it's about taking your opportunities. And you know, we spoke before the game about how we've got ourselves from a difficult start to the season with a new group of players into a position now where we're right in amongst it, and we knew today was really important. Look, I still think it's Chelsea's with their game in hand. It's their title to lose, but this has moved us forward, you know, particularly with the European spots as well, and the confidence that brings. But we know we've got a tough game next week. We know we're capable of winning that one as well, and yeah, I think it's about enjoying this moment and being really pleased that we put on a good performance today and kept ourselves in the right position.
Where does this performance rank for you in terms of across the season, comparing like the Arsenal one here, for example?
I mean, look, I think we showed some really good bits today. I think when we play with a calmness particularly in our attacking play, we'll always usually finish with a shot, a goal, or the keeper saving it. I think it's just about us being calm in what we do in possession, being tenacious and working tremendously hard without the ball. And again, I think that was really important for us getting the goals today, was our pressing. Performance-wise, yeah, I mean, it's a good moment. I've not had too much joy against Chelsea, if I'm honest, personally, with the team, because they're a decent team, you know, and they've done some really good things over the last few years. But we've been there. I think when you look at I've spoke about the trophy haul domestically between us and Chelsea. It's not a million miles away from us turning that in our favour. So I think this brings a lot of confidence with this performance and win today.
And while it was a brilliant win and performance, I assume the message is that we've got a massive game next week against Arsenal. It's important to build on today and make sure that it counts against Arsenal next week.
Yeah, because when you play those teams, and we'll play United after the international break as well, when you play those teams in and around you, those games become crucial. I'm sure the other teams today probably were hoping for a draw, but they're crucial. If you can take maximum points off the teams around you, then you've got a real good chance of being successful.
Thanks for your time, Gareth.
There's a big smile on his face at the end there, wasn't there? Gareth Taylor, the Manchester City women's manager. He put the pressure on his players before the game, Stephen McInerney, by saying it's a must-win. They responded.
They absolutely did, and I guess he was right to do it. He got the response that he wanted, and I guess when your manager does say that, it is a sort of breaking character, because they're usually game by game, but he turned this into a cup final, and to be fair as well, the atmosphere in the ground, it felt like a cup final, and it worked. It was really, really, really impressive, and I guess he knows, he's he's been doing this for a while now. He knows what makes his players tick, and I'm happy for him as well. I've met Gareth before. He's a lovely bloke as well, and he was under, you know, a little bit of criticism for the start of the season as well. And like right now, he'll feel very justified, you know. And he's managed a masterclass today, so fair play to him.
Certainly has, yeah, particularly after that second game of the season where they lost at Chelsea.
Yeah.
The pressure was on, and City have responded. Thing is, Shaun, Wright, Phillips, they've got to go and do it all again next weekend.
Yeah, it's going to be a hard one for them and for myself, to be honest.
Shaun versus Ian again.
Yeah. So it'll definitely be nice for City to do the double over them in the WSL, because otherwise it's going to be a difficult time social media wise for myself. And obviously, but no, I think like Steve said, the way they played, they got so much to take from this game in respects of positive attitude, mental strength, and in the direction they're heading. They done everything right today, and they'll be at the height of their game right now mentally, and just go there and do it again. If they start fast again and get those early goals again, I think they'll cruise again for me.
Pressure's on Manchester City women then, not only to win, but to save Shaun's social media account. Shaun, Stephen, thank you very much. Great to have you with us today. A big win for Manchester City women against Chelsea. Matchday Live is back next Saturday for the men's big one against Liverpool at the Etihad Stadium. 12:30 kick-off. Matchday Live from 11:25. Thanks for your company. We'll see you again soon.